and welcome. My name is Sue Ackerman, and I'm the Director of Productions for Tellico Community Players. Today we're here to talk about our June main stage production, a classic suspense thriller and one of my personal favorites, Wait Until Dark. And we have in our studio with me today three people who are very much involved with the production. We have Dennis Loy, who is our director, Judy Douglas, who plays the character Susan, and Bill Howard, who plays Rote. Welcome and thanks for being here with me.
Pleasure.
Great to be here.
I have to believe that most of the people in our audience will at least have heard about Wait Until Dark, mostly because of the movie, very popular movie from the 60s, starring Audrey Hepburn. Dennis, I'm going to ask you the first question today. If audience are familiar with that movie, what will they see that's the same, or what will they see that's different? So basically tell us a little bit about the story and what might be different from what you're seeing in the movie.
The movie was 1967, as we said, and Alan Arkin played Rote, which is what Bill is going to be playing. Susan was Audrey Hepburn, and basically the story is about a woman who is blind. There's a lot of suspense involved with a doll that was accidentally brought into the apartment. She has to eventually locate this, and then there's a lot of villains involved. There's a lot of suspense in it. But the play is different. It's got a lot more twists and turns than the movie does. And I think that's true with almost every play and every production. The movie just doesn't do as well as the play does, or at least I think. But this is one of my favorites. It's full of suspense, and it's a thriller. It really is.
Great. Well, I'm surely looking forward to that for sure. Judy, thank you for being here, like I said. And you play the character Susan. She's the main character of the story. Tell us a little bit about Susan. I think we need to get to know her from your point of view.
Well, as Dennis said, she's blind. She's recently blind. And she met her husband in the hospital, and these three bad guys are after her. I think there's three. Are after her about
two.
Two. Oh, two. Yes, I'm sorry. Are after her. They look for a doll, and she doesn't know exactly where it's at, but they're after it because it has something they want in it. So basically, I guess the bottom line for Susan is she's the world champion blind woman.
I think that's the line from the play, isn't it?
Yes.
Judy, I have to imagine that playing someone who is not able to see has been a challenge. Is there anything particular that you've done to prepare for this role or to help you get into the character at all?
Well, I've tried watching TV shows like All the Light We Cannot See. I've tried walking around with my eyes closed at home. But I'm trying. So those are the only two things right now that I'm doing, but it's kind of hard at the moment because I'm not off book with my lines. So right now I still have to look at my script and look up, and so. But those are the two things right now that I've tried to do.
Okay, yeah. And I know that's such a critical part of the story, so you want to do it just exactly right.
Yes.
I hear you. Bill, this is the first time we have seen you on the Tellico Players stage, and I'm looking forward to that. But you play the villain of the story, Rote. Tell us first of all about the character Rote. What makes him tick?
Rote's not a nice boy. You wouldn't want to take him home to meet Mom. He's truly a disturbed character, and without giving too much away, he'll stop at nothing to get what he wants, literally nothing at all. And he's singularly focused on what he wants, and nothing and nobody is going to prevent him from doing that. I mean, Rote has his issues, his severe psychological problems, to put it mildly.
Right. Well, I think you would agree if I said that Rote was a pretty cold-blooded person.
To say the least.
This might be a loaded question, but is there anything particular that you had to do to? You don't appear to me to be a cold-blooded person in real life.
Hold the jokes here. Hold the jokes.
But seriously, to get into character for someone who plays such a dastardly villain, how does an actor do that?
Well, You use your imagination. You read the script and the lines over and over again, and you simply try to imagine this character. What's he thinking? What does he want? His motivation? What's he trying to accomplish? And it's essentially it's an exercise in your imagination. You know, that trying as best you can to put yourself in that role. You know, as kids, you play cops and robbers and villains and bad guys, and that kind of thing can help. So you read and think and imagine and do the best you can to try to create the character that you think he is.
Right, right.
And it's fun. Somebody that's very, very different from you it really is really
True.
different from me.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
it can be fun. The big contrast can be really fun and challenging.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I know being backstage before a play, I've noticed that a lot of actors will take time to kind of get themselves into character. And probably playing characters, you know, such a villain as you are, and a blind character, you probably have to really get yourself wrapped around that character. Dennis, as we've said with Bill and Judy, this play has such unexpected twists and turns in it.
It does.
And as a director, can you share with us, without giving away too much of the surprise of the story, what are some of the things maybe that you've had to really work at to get just right, or have, you know, with our size of our theater or whatever, the challenges of that unusual plot twists?
Well, let me back up and say that, you know, I've directed comedies and I've directed musicals, and this is probably the very first directorial with a thriller and suspense. The whole objective is to get the audience to respond to the kind of play it is. As a director for a comedy, you want them to laugh, and as a musical, you want them to hum the tunes as they leave this theater. This, I want them on the edge of their seats. I want them. There's so many twists and turns on this, and I mentioned this in my director's notes. I'm expecting gasps from the audience. There's going to be light effects on there. There's going to be a moment where there's going to be complete darkness. Obviously, wait until dark. So the audience is going to be prepared for a lot of suspense, and there's so many twists and turns on this, and the actors do this superbly already.
This is kind of a departure from what our TCP's typical kind of plays are.
It really is.
And it's a suspense. I would assume that people better come prepared to be a little frightened, you know, be startled or whatever the best word
Absolutely.
is, because it is a suspense. And I know you're working hard to bring all of those emotions of suspense to
I want the
story.
audience to feel what Susan feels. I want them to feel the anxiety that she has, the confusion that she has, with being able to see and not being able to see. The audience is going to be at moments where they are going to be quote unquote blind in that. So the suspense is there, and the audience itself is part of that, and we pull them into what's going on.
Bill, Dennis mentioned earlier that there will be a couple of scenes in here that are going to be in darkness.
Right.
How is it for an actor? Maybe I could even ask both of you, but ask Bill first. Working on stage, I mean, you've got movements, you've got all those things, but virtually in the darkness. What does that bring to your abilities or things you have to factor in?
Anxiety.
Okay.
It's different. It's very different.
Right, right.
And I was thinking back, I don't think I've ever done a scene in complete darkness before, and all the experience I have. So it's different. And we'll take a lot of rehearsal, a lot of practice. But it's a challenge. It stretches you,
Yes.
which is a good thing as an actor.
Yeah.
And you have to know your blocking.
Well, imagine, yeah.
Or
You don't know where you got to
may
be
off the
and
stage.
when you got to be there and what you're walking
Yes.
toward, and it's a real challenge.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's a good thing. It stretches
Okay,
you as
good.
an actor.
Yeah, I would think that would be such a departure from what's typical of
Right.
being on stage. We're all
Yes.
used to
Very much so.
full lighting and things that you can easily anticipate. But you've got to really have your have your game on when you're
right.
doing.
Well, and as a director, what you do is essentially they have the blocking, and it's in a full light, and so they get to the point where they know where things are, and then when we bring the lights down, then then they'll know where their paths are, and there'll be some bumps along the way, as we develop it. But I think that they're well aware of what they need to do, and they're going to do a great job.
Well, and I had to let our audience know too. these two actors are coming from Knoxville, so they have quite a distance that they're traveling for rehearsals and then on the nights of the performances. So we really appreciate that from you, and to know that that is it's for the love of theater and for the love of what you do that you're doing it, because there's, our heartfelt thanks are what you get.
Absolutely.
I requested a limo, but it was denied.
Yeah, well, that was not quite in our budget.
Darn it.
One more question that I've got for all of you, and I'll start with asking it to Dennis first. But anyway, what I'd like to ask you is, what would you like the audience to, what can the audience expect when they get into the theater, and what would you like their takeaway to be from the story?
Wow. I think they're going to come with apprehensions. I think they're going to wonder. I think a lot of them are going to go key right back to the 1967 movie, and if they're very familiar with it, they're going to think, well, this is going to be just like that, and it isn't. The story plot is, but there are a lot of twists and turns. So they're going to come in expecting one thing and leaving with another. And I think they're going to leave a little bit nervous, a little bit. Maybe we'll push the envelope in terms of suspense and excitement that they have. That's what the objective is to get that audience to feel. I want to hear gasps out there. That's basically it.
Great, that's great. Judy, how about you? What do you think the audience are going to come in expecting? But more so, what do you want them to take away from the story?
Well, I agree with Dennis about what I think they will come in expecting is, if they've seen the movie, that's what they'll expect. Which it will be different. I would like them to take away that even though someone maybe have a handicap like blindness or whatever, that they don't give up. You don't give up. You don't have to be a victim.
That's good. That's a great takeaway if they go out with that. Bill, you've heard two answers to the question. Did you come up with anything new, or?
Probably not, except I hope that they think that, man, the acting was really good. That it was cast well and that the actors really nailed it. Of course, as a performer, you always hope that.
Sure.
But what they said too, sure.
Yeah.
They said it really well. And I hope they're scared. I hope they have moments where they're really, on the edge of their seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Well, I have a feeling they will be. There's no doubt about that. Well, just talking to you this afternoon, I'm excited. I was excited before we even started the interview, but now I'm even more excited.
Good.
And I appreciate that. I wish you all the very best of luck.
Thank you.
And
Thank
look
you.
forward to it. And I know that our audience will be looking forward to an exciting show as well. And also to our viewers, if you're interested in learning more about Tellico Community Players and how you can be a part of what we do here, either on stage or behind the scenes, go to our website, Tellico Community Playhouse, that's all one word, tellicocommunityplayhouse.org, and click on Get Involved. And also, I'd like to thank Tellico Village Network and all their wonderful volunteers for allowing us to be here today to do this taping. If you're not familiar with TVN, they do an awesome job in the village to entertain and inform, and they provide a community service that is invaluable.
Absolutely.
At the end of the show, you'll see information about how to buy tickets if you have not done so already on our website. And we hope to see you at the theater. And I know if you come, you will enjoy Wait Until Dark. Thanks so much.